Imagine this: police officers, hospital staff, even seasoned social workers, all witnessing events so strange, so terrifying, that many of them refused to go back inside the house ever again. This wasn't whispers or legends. This was documented, signed off, and witnessed by multiple professionals in Gary, Indiana. They called it the Demon House. In November 2011, Latoya Ammons, a mother of three, moved with her children into a modest rental house on Carolina Street. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but within days, things shifted. Swarms of black flies gathered on the screened-in porch, no matter the season. Latoya killed them over and over, but within hours they'd return in greater numbers. Neighbors admitted it wasn't normal, even in the summer. Inside, footsteps echoed through empty rooms. Shadowy figures crept along the walls at night. Latoya described waking up to see a dark figure facing in her living room. Then it got worse. Latoya reported that her children, aged 7, 9, and 12, began acting strangely. Their eyes rolled back in their heads. Voices dropped into guttural growls. They cursed in ways that shocked family members. They spoke about death, about being controlled by something dark. One child was said to have levitated from her bed, witnessed by family members and a visiting church official. The girl came crashing down only after relatives gathered in prayer. Social workers investigating the family's claims noted the children's behavior is unnatural. One caseworker reported that the youngest boy growled and told her in detail what it felt like to be murdered. Another described him being lifted and thrown into a wall, with no one touching him. The most terrifying incident happened at the hospital. Medical staff watched as the boy walked backward up the wall, flipped over his grandmother, and landed on his feet. This was documented in official reports. Nurses screamed. A psychiatrist ran from the room in terror. Police filed statements that night, confirming what they saw. By now, word had spread. Local police officers refused to stay inside longer than necessary. One officer's radio malfunctioned while standing in the kitchen. Another reported seeing an oily liquid dripping mysteriously from blinds and walls. Even after being scrubbed clean, the substance returned within minutes. An officer said it smeared like motor oil. Skeptics tried to debunk the claims, but they couldn't explain the sheer number of professional witnesses saying the same thing. Police, hospital staff, CPS, people with no connection to each other, all documenting the impossible. The Catholic Church eventually stepped in. Father Michael Magano, a parish priest, performed multiple blessings and exorcisms on both the children and Latoya. He said shadows moved unnaturally across the walls of the house, darting like they had mass. Before each ritual, he fasted and prayed, admitting this case terrified him. He later testified under oath that this was unlike anything he had ever seen. The case files, hundreds of pages long, documented everything from hospital records to Child Protective Services notes, cementing the Demon House as one of the most heavily reported hauntings in modern America. The story gained national attention. Paranormal investigators swarmed Gary, Indiana. Some called it a hoax. Others called it the most credible demonic possession case of our time. Years later, the house was purchased by Zach Baggins of Ghost Adventures. Baggins and his crew reported sudden illnesses, violent headaches, and equipment failures inside the house. One investigator quit altogether after claiming he felt taken over. Baggins himself said he experienced a dark presence that followed him long after filming Wrapped. Eventually, he made the decision to demolish the house, declaring it too dangerous to exist. What makes the Demon House so chilling isn't just the strange sounds. the shadows, or the fear. It's that doctors, nurses, social workers, and police officers all walked away shaken, convinced they'd seen something unexplainable. In their words, not a myth, not a rumor, but a nightmare made real. So the question lingers: if so many credible witnesses say they saw the impossible, do we dare dismiss it? Or admit that sometimes evil is real? This is Joshua Tree Encounters, reminding you that some nightmares aren't legends, they're real.